Hello, today we have a new lesson in PHP. Our lesson today is very important as usual. Don't feel worried about what you see on the screen. It is very simple. Let me explain. This is the form that we used last time. We haven't done anything. And this is the post method that we talked about last time. This is the file destination. So now every time someone clicks on the go button, they will be taken to the same page. Let's stick on the get method. Let's say you open a website in PHP. You want to store the user details in a database. So the visitors who come to your website, they can insert their username as we have here, or they can insert their email and so on. So that's where the database comes in. You will take the details of the user and store them in a database. And this is what you see here. First, you connect to the database, and then you insert the details in the database. It's very simple. I will explain everything right now. First, let's upload this and see how it looks like, which is the file name test.php. And this is how it looks like, guys. All these error messages that you see is because I'm not using the username and password to connect to the database. So when you start a hosting plan with someone, with any company, if you start a hosting plan, you will probably get a MySQL database. I think it's one of the most popular. That's where you will store all your data. So when they give you the database, you can connect to it. As you can see here, MySQL connect. Obviously, all these codes you can grab from the internet. I'm giving you the idea, and everything is available on the internet anyway. Even the form itself. So first thing, this is the code. You connect to the database and you put the username, password, you just insert them here, and this will be the database name, and that's it. You are connected to the database. And then this is how you insert the details that the user submits. So by using this form, the user will submit his username. The user will write their names here, Marius, for example. And then when they click the go button, since that we specified the destination to be the same page, the page will reload. In this case, that's what's gonna happen. So since we use the if function, we can use the if function here. It's very simple. Just say if, open bracket. So we need the username string. Just put the $sign, username, close the bracket, and then add this symbol. Even if you leave it as it is, this means that if the username string is not empty, you can leave it as it is, or you can do the one that we done last time, which is this. If the username string is not empty, okay, this is the quotation marks, but the single one, the one line. So if the username is not empty, and then do all these codes and then close it with this symbol here. So all these codes will not take place unless the if function checks that the username is not actually empty, and this happens after the user submits their username. So if the visitor to your website does not click the go button, this will not take place at all. You can even add here an email. Just copy paste. Copy and pasting is very important for programmers. So name this email, copy paste this one, and name it email. Let's save it so you see how it looks like. Now you have two fields, and because we added the if function, if equation, all this disappeared, all the error messages, because now it's not even doing anything. As soon as the user inserts their details, Marius, and their email, marius@gmail.com, this is just a random email I'm using. So as soon as the user inserts both of these details and they click on the go button, now the if function will take place. As you can see, nothing happened. Do you know why? We forgot something which we talked about in the previous lessons. Something very important. How does the string grab the value from top here? We need the get function. Check this out. Before the if function, as you can see. And this one we call it username, and this one will be also username So the string username will get the value from the web address, and this if function will start working as normal. Also, we need to do the same for the email. So we change the second one to email, and this one we change it to email as well. Email. Let's remove this space. We're trying to squeeze everything now. As you can see, we are getting deeper into PHP. So now we are okay. The username string will get the value. The email string will get the value. This if equation, we can even add a second part to it and say and. This and here adds two conditions instead of one condition. This and can also be or, and the meaning is the same as it sounds. So we keep it as and. If the username string is not empty and the email string is also not empty, this is where the if function will take place. So this and means that both username and email must not be empty in order for all this code to start taking place. So obviously, if we change this and to or, this means that the username must not be empty or the email must not be empty, one of the two. And now when we save this form, this time it should work normally. Okay, I zoomed in to make it look more clear. We add the username Marius, we add the email marius@gmail.com. Now we have both of them. Now if you click go, everything should work fine. Click on go. That's where we get the error messages. We are happy to see the error messages. This means that our code is working, even though we are getting the error messages. But as you can see, the email is showing up here. The username is showing up here. We are grabbing both values, and then we are inserting the data into the database. So since we are using two fields, one of them is called username and the other one is called email. So insert into, and then this will be your table name. Every table has a name. So we will call this table a user. And then we say user underscore name. Let's change the name to username just to keep everything the same. So you have one row on the table which is called user username. And the other one we will call it user email. Email. So now we have two rows on the table, and that's where we will store the first values of the user. And the string name is not actually name, it's username. So now we have a query which says insert into, and this is the table name which is user. You can call the table whatever you like. When you log in into your hosting package, into your MySQL package, and then you can create a table whatever you like to call it. In this case I called it user. So the first row in the table will be user underscore username, and the second row will be user underscore email, and the values will be the string values which we have here, username and email, both of them showing up here. Now everything has to be in order. So this is the first one, this will be the first one, this is the second one, this will be the second one, and so on. And then you add this line here. Everything is available on the internet. When you start learning programming, you won't sit down and write everything with your own fingers on the keyboard. You will just copy paste all the time. You will use copy paste millions of times. All these things you grab from the internet, or you can grab them from a previous code that you wrote. So now that's what we have here. It's very simple. Today we learned that a form, if you build a website, you will create a form. That's where the visitors to your website will be able to insert their username and their email, for example. And then you create an if function, very simple. Every time the visitor clicks on the go button, all the data will be stored in the database, and that's when the user can come back to the website and find all the details and so on. Today we learned how to store data in the database. In the next lesson, we will learn how to grab the data from the database. The database will be given when you start a hosting package with someone, and I will see you in the next lesson.